Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for a very, very important video here on Marvel Strike Force. So this is related to the Chaotic Storm raids. This is super important, something that is honestly game-breaking that they need to fix ASAP. I hope a lot of you get to see this video. I hope that people share this around because it's really important to the raid payouts of this. It's going to be a little bit technical, so I'm going to do my best to try to explain what's going on. But this is something that everyone needs to know. So we spoke about this in other videos and the buggy glitchiness of these two numbers, particularly this 46%, which should be the first, or in my raid anyways, which should be the first thing that you see when you open up your raids. There's also another number if you were to go into the raids, back out, that kind of thing. It'll show you another number of 62.9 for me. So what are these two numbers? These are not these are the right numbers, but this is not what is being shown in the game as far as rewards go. So this 46% is in fact the correct number. This is where my alliance should be, which is the total nodes divided. So the total nodes, not including the bosses, divided by the total nodes of not bosses, other than the two final bosses, right? Per map. So this is what I should be at. This number, the other higher number that you've been seeing, this is the total number of nodes cleared, including the optional bosses, divided by just the normal nodes. So not even including the optional bosses. So they're for whatever reason, that glitch number, that second glitch number there, that needs to go. Why has that not been gone? I don't know. But there was a third thing, and this is super, super duper important. This explored number. So if you click on the rewards, 38% is where my alliance is at right now, and we have not unlocked the 40% threshold, even though we are in fact at 46%. This is the accurate number. Why is this happening? Because this is the old way of raids. This is total number of nodes cleared over total number of nodes that exist. This is including all of the boss nodes. So realistically, and as far as I'm aware, because it still has a lock on there, that until you hit 40% of all of the nodes, you are not going to get the rewards associated with that. And I want to break this down even further because I think it's absolutely hilarious. Spent some time in Discord talking about this as well with Croesus, who I believe also brought this to Pathfinder's attention. And I hope that somebody hears about this, because the longer this goes on, the worse and worse it gets. So to get 70% on the payouts now is the equivalent of a 100% clear in the Orcus rates. Why does that matter? Because the total number of nodes, this is where it's going to get a little bit technical. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in. Ignore the stuff on the right. This was just some math I was doing with my alliance. So there is a total of 102 nodes in the Chaos raids with the bosses. That's with all the optional bosses and all of that stuff. That means there's a total number of 306 nodes. Okay. The total nodes without bosses, because there's a lot of boss nodes, a lot of those optional boss nodes, is 186. So keep these two numbers in mind, the 306 and the 186. Basically, this number here on the front, the 40, once it recalculates, the 46.77, this is benched across the 186. And that's okay, because that's what it should be, but that's not what it's not. But that's what it's not doing. The explored percent is considering your total numbers of nodes cleared divided by 306, which is this total nodes of the entire map, right? If you go into the entire map, there's a lot of optional boss nodes, and this is what's different between Orcus raid and this raid. The Chaos raids is every lane has like 4 optional boss nodes, so it's adding a massive amount of total nodes to the entire raid or the map, depending on which way you look at it, right? So that is pretty crazy. Okay, so again, X is the total number of nodes cleared, including the bosses. So for me, I don't know where we're at now. I calculated that was what this was on the right. I literally like hand checked every single node and how many we've cleared just so I could make sure the numbers lined up. Now, Orcus raid had 213 nodes total, grand total. The Chaos raid Omega has 306. So Chaos raid has approximately 40, I don't know, I think it was like anywhere from 43 to 45%. I don't remember what the number showed up in the calculator. But 44 more nodes, right? That is crazy. So 40% of 306, because this is what it's checking for your rewards, is 122 nodes. But this is also is checking, including those optional bosses, we were told were optional, but it seems that they, at least for now, are not. And then 70% of 306 is 214 nodes, which is more than the entire Orcus raid. The problem is that we don't have the energy to even hit there. So 40% is quite a bit of a struggle, even for my lines. Like we're at 46%, but that's because obviously we're spending a lot of energy on the bio and skill section, right? We're doing the sacks. It's just what you have to do, right? If you watched any of my recent videos, that you would know that you basically have to do a sack on the skill nodes and then go in and clear it. And then with the bio, wherever the bio that somebody didn't clear, you'd have to sack the bio and then go in with the bio. So you're spending typically 20 energy per node just to get through this. So it's taking a lot of energy to do this, which means that there's less energy for the other nodes, and there's way more of them that's counting towards the rewards. It's absolute dog shit. So what can they do to fix this? Well, they need to fix this ASAP, because a lot of people are going to struggle just to hit 40%, even though we've passed it, right? But that's not what the game is considering. If it did, this would be unlocked, right? It's still currently locked. I think maybe my alliance knows now, and they're slowly starting to do that, because I was going to ping them after I finish this video that we need to push a little bit more. But 40% in reality is closer to, like, it's going to be like over 50% probably of what we're supposed to do. But again, it's including those optional bosses, which we were told was not going to be the case. They've messed around a few times with the raid. Even before it launched, there was a lot of blog posts coming out about changing the raid. What they might have to do, if they're incapable of actually fixing the percentages and the math and all that with the way it works in the game, they would need to axe the boss nodes. They have gone from having one boss node per lane in Orcus raid to 4. And so that's bloating up these numbers, right? If you were to take away 3 from every single lane, that is going to be 15 per side, or 30 across every strike team. Multiplied by 3, that's 90 nodes that you would reduce, right? Which is more in line with Orcus raid, right? So if you took the 306 and dropped 90 nodes, that brings it down to 206, which is almost in line with Orcus raid, right? So, and that would be fine if the explore percent was, total nodes over total nodes, right? Like total nodes cleared over total nodes that exist, right? Which is how it's always been basically up until now. And they've decided to mess around with that. And apparently they can't program it properly because it's not working the way that it should be. So I would encourage all alliances to check what your percentage is, not here on the front, not this lower number. This is the, in fact, correct number. I want to say that again, but it's this explored percentage that is what is going to dictate what you end up getting at your payout. Now, I've got 2 hours left in my raid as of recording this video. This is going to go up pretty soon. I'm going to put this up as soon as possible. This is something that needs immediate attention, because a lot of alliances are just going to even struggle to get to that 40% mark, whether you're at difficulty 5 or not. The same principle is still going to apply to every other difficulty, that the optional bosses currently, as it sits right now, are not optional. And it's going towards the reward percentages that shouldn't exist. That shouldn't happen. I don't know if they'll get anything done it's the weekend, right? Like, I don't think they have the engineers probably around on a Saturday to actually fix this, or to deduce what the problem is to get it fixed. Guess we'll see. There's going to be the more days this goes on, I think the more backlash there's going to be, because a lot of alliances aren't going to get to the target that they're supposed to be getting. And this might start impacting things come Monday with events and all that sort of stuff. So just want to share this with you guys. Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and good luck for raises this weekend, I guess. If you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.